passionate about movies? Then grab the best seat in the house and relax as we bring you the hottest new movie releases, all the big names, news and reviews here on Cinema Nouveau. From a battle of wills in American Gangster to the buzz on B-movie and a painful voyage to find the things we lost in the fire.
Most important thing in business is honesty.
Bribery, extortion,
integrity, hard work,
murder, racketeering,
family.
Frank was a pillar of the city and corrupt to the core.
Who is this guy?
So you are what you are in this world.
A black man has accomplished what the American mafia hasn't in 100 years.
We got a problem, man.
We can go anywhere we want.
And do what? Run, hide?
His was an empire based on deception, and it's about to crumble.
My wife, my mother, my family. This is my country. I ain't going nowhere.
There has to be order. More important than any one man's life is order.
Director Ridley Scott brings to the screen American Gangster, the story of Frank Lucas, played by Denzel Washington, a real-life heroin kingpin from Harlem who smuggled the drug into the country via American service planes returning from the Vietnam War, an audacious feat from a daring criminal mind. Playing the detective hell-bent on bringing the drug lord finally to his knees is Russell Crowe. American Gangster, shot on location in New York on a $100 million budget, reunites Crowe with his Gladiator director Ridley Scott and pits him against fellow Oscar winner Denzel Washington.
It's actually, you know what it is? It's not about a heavyweight fight. What it is much more like two guitarists playing together, two people singing together. It's like that. It's not a matter of fighting. If you're going to have that much defense, and you're going to be throwing tricky punches and stuff like that, you're not going to be achieving what you can achieve. If you can blend, if you can harmonize, and you can sing together, still from two completely separate points of view. Now you talk.
Before you say anything about me or about my wife, understand this is the most important day of my life, detective.
Oh, I understand. You know, man walks around with $50,000 chinchilla coat and never even bought me a cup of coffee. There's something wrong there.
Will there be another Oscar for Washington's complex portrayal?
Pay your bills, I asked you?
If you are not getting your share, maybe you need to talk to the chief of police.
What's my share? Because you don't even know me. Maybe I'm special.
You are special.
You see that right there? Special Investigations Unit.
We don't even hear about it until you sit down and do interviews. It's not like walking. First of all, film hasn't even come out yet. Let the film come out and let the public, decide how they feel about it. And as Russell was saying earlier, we both find it interesting that a great filmmaker like Ridley Scott hasn't been recognized over these many years with all the brilliant films he's done.
That's your man, so you're like...
That's the governor. Who's the governor?
The governor.
Right, governor.
Governor.
What should we do today then, Gov?
All right.
Right. Oh, we're going to do that?
Yes,
oh, that's going to be difficult.
What?
No, yes, sir. Right.
Bob's your uncle.
That means following the governor's exacting style, slow building tension to rapid action sequences.
Yeah, that was in Coney Island. We were doing that scene in the projects building. I had to run about 72 flights of stairs. But, it was about 16 blokes doing that, and I think 6 or 7 of them vomited, so, at least I didn't get to that bad. But, yeah, I actually changed out from the 1970s Levi's into the ones that were made just a little while ago.
Stretchers. Yeah, there you go.
Ridley Scott draws on the paradoxes in the story. Russell Crowe's Detective Roberts is at once a shining hero and a flawed man and womanizer. And although the real-life Frank Lucas smuggled heroin into America by hiding it in the coffins of Vietnam soldiers, Scott paints him as a principled businessman. Washington was attracted to the enigmatic Lucas, still living and still paying for his outrageous crimes. The actor has done his best work on biopics.
Oh, if it's the best ones, this was a good one. Just because it's true doesn't mean it's always interesting. And But I can just say personally, over the years, I've had some great experiences in film playing real-life characters like, you know, Malcolm X and things like that. I think it's also, especially in the case of Malcolm X, there's a buzz you get high off of the pressure, in a way. I mean, especially with Malcolm X, we were under a lot of pressure. There was like a lot of folks showing up, like basically, you better get this right, or it could cost you. You know, so for me at least, that wasn't the case. One might have expected it to be the case in this film, but it wasn't the case with Frank. He was real cool.
It was Malcolm X that transformed Washington's image overnight into one of Hollywood's most respected actors. He then went on to manage a well-orchestrated career. He turned down an offer to play Martin Luther King Jr. through a fear of being typecast, and took up contrasting roles like the homophobic lawyer in Tom Hanks' film Philadelphia. The multi-award-winning Washington is often cited as an example of human beauty due to the perfect symmetry of his facial features. His fellow actors say working with Denzel Washington is like taking a masterclass in acting. Although often portraying officials in drama, Washington won his Oscar playing against type, the villain in Training Day. He was the second African-American performer ever to win an Academy Award in the category of Best Actor. Washington has appeared in a string of successful thrillers, including Spike Lee's bank heist thriller Inside Man with Jodie Foster and Clive Owen, and Deja Vu, a science fiction crime thriller produced by Jerry Bruckheimer. American Gangster is a chance for audiences to again enjoy the dark side of Denzel. Playing Washington's opposite number in this story of the American dream turned civic nightmare is the seasoned Russell Crowe. Ridley Scott is one of Crowe's favorite directors, having directed him in his Oscar-winning performance in Gladiator and given him a rare chance to lead in a romantic comedy, 2006's A Good Year. Another favorite director, Ron Howard, has collaborated with the actor on both A Beautiful Mind and Cinderella Man. Crowe has an excellent nose for a great script. 5 of his movies in 7 years were nominated for Best Picture, including LA Confidential and Master and Commander, The Far Side of the World. Russell Crowe relies on trust in filmmaking. He says, you don't have to like an actor to do a scene with him. You don't have to like a director, but it's just better if you do, if you begin with that respect. Crowe expressed to Cinema Nouveau that the media attention on his wild side is not helpful. He says, it doesn't make me more of a box office draw. It's the quality of my work that makes people want to go to my films. Always the perfectionist, for American Gangster, the method actor used tape recordings of the real Detective Roberts to develop his authentic character.
Let me ask you this. Do you really think that putting me behind bars is gonna change anything on them streets? Them dope things are gonna shoot it, they're gonna steal from it, they're gonna die for it. Putting me in or out ain't gonna change one thing.
And that's the way it is.
That's just the way it is. So what we got, Richie? We got me and you sitting here.
I got possession, supply, conspiracy, bribing a law officer. I got people who attest to seeing you kill in cold blood. I got your offshore bank account.
2 powerful men, 1 winner in American Gangster.
Welcome to Hunex.
Jerry Seinfeld is a bee on a mission. Yes, you heard right, a bee.
You won't ever work anywhere or do anything else ever again.
So you'll just work us to death?
We'll try.
I'm going out.
Out? Out where?
Outside the hive.
Hold it. Flight deck's restricted. It's okay, Lou. We're going to take him up.
Let's move it out! Whoa! Look at all this room! Box cut! Palawan!
Jerry Seinfeld has written Barry B. Benson's story, and he's more than happy to dress up to promote it. And there's a real buzz about B-Movie. In B-Movie, Seinfeld asks, what does Barry do when he finds out his life's purpose is already laid out? He's not going to be a hero, an explorer, a star. He's going to be in fresh produce. Honey, to be exact. Well, he's not going to be stuck with that. B-Movie is a computer animation written by and starring Jerry Seinfeld. The charming film has attracted the vocal talents of Renee Zellweger, Matthew Broderick, Megan Mullally, and John Goodman. But the real scene stealer is Chris Rock, who plays Moose Blood, the mosquito.
It's about bees and humans.
It's about birds. What do you think it's about? Freaking B-Movie.
It's about
Martian the penguins, okay? What are you about?
Hello, Mr. Walker.
Morgan Freeman's gonna narrate it. What are you talking about?
Was it
You're a
work?
professional journalist.
Was it work or was it pleasure? You know, like how much fun you guys had?
It's all pleasure. We don't work. There's no work involved. These things just happen by themselves.
This guy carrying the mic, he's working.
It may not be work in the traditional sense, but Jerry Seinfeld's promotional stunt flying over the Cannes Film Festival in a bee suit certainly looked risky.
I did not give it a thought until I got up there and I looked down and I thought, oh my, this is something, isn't it?
You look a little scared the second time. Were you prepared for that?
No, I wasn't. The second time, they just yanked me off of there without telling me. So I thought I was falling at first. Thought I was finished.
Welcome to Hunex.
Few would have guessed Seinfeld's first feature-length film to be an animation, but the story has all the comedy and drama of a great family film. The quest follows Barry B. Benson as he leaves the hive to discover the great honey conspiracy. Who's got it, who it really belongs to, and who's going to get it back.
Hold it, flight deck's restricted. It's okay, Lou. We're going to take him up.
Let's move it out! Whoa! Look at all this room! Box cut!
Barry takes up the mission of bringing home the honey when he witnesses the rampant human misuse of the precious resource. And on the way, he meets some colorful characters.
Just keep still.
You're not dead?
I'm going to Alaska. I'm going to Tacoma.
What about you?
He really is dead.
All right.
B-Movie has an endearing blend of emotion with great visuals and pop culture references. It's the Seinfeld style for a whole new audience. Jerry Seinfeld is best known for playing a semi-fictional version of himself in the long-running sitcom Seinfeld, which he co-created, helped write, and executive produced. The mega-successful series still brings the comedian in over $60 million annually from syndication deals. When asked how the process of creating the movie compared to a television show, the comic told Cinema Nouveau it was just longer, a lot longer. In fact, B-Movie took 4 years to make. He said the big challenge was not to run out of creative steam in the final third of the film, as so often happens in films today. But what about the pressure to have a successful debut film after the hit series? The workaholic comic producer says he's great at dealing with pressure. Although his stand-up tours are proving to be as successful as ever, Seinfeld says it's frustrating to do the same thing all the time. If his humor translates well to the big screen, and if the laughter coming out of cinemas showing B-Movie is any proof, we should be seeing more films from the comedian. The comic believes it's important to keep the audience interested in you, to give your career some texture and some depth. That said, he didn't write B-Movie for adults or children. He wrote it for himself, knowing that if he did his best, the film would naturally find an audience.
So how's this gonna work?
Well, we'll try it, you know, and then See what happens. Could be fantastic.
Is this even on straight?
Sure.
This is what he picks to follow the TV series?
A sticky situation in B-movie.
Hey, Danny.
Are you Mrs. Brian Burke?
Your dad was my best friend.
When?
When I was your age, last week.
Thanks for coming.
Sure.
He was so loyal. Most people would have given up on you, but he didn't. Here's the deal. You can move in, get yourself situated, and you can pay me rent.
I don't need your charity, Audrey.
I'm the one that needs the help.
Things We Lost in the Fire is the story of two damaged people thrown together in the aftermath of overwhelming loss. The intense drama stars Benicio del Toro as the struggling drug addict and Halle Berry as the grieving widow trying to rebuild her life. As the characters navigate grief and denial, they learn to love again. Berry knew she could bring to the part her kind of Oscar-winning depth.
Well, Fight, I had to sort of pursue the studio. You know, it wasn't written for someone like me, so in their minds, I wouldn't think of a girl like me. But I expressed interest early on, and I wanted to really play this part. And they said, well, maybe you're right, maybe you're not, but let's get a director and see what the director feels. So luckily, when they got Susanna Bier, and I actually had a chance to meet with her, then, you know, we clicked instantly, so the opportunity was mine.
What you did today broke my heart.
What'd I do?
You got Dory to put his head under the water.
Oh, just a cute trick.
He's 6. Harper put hers under when she was only 3. It was something that Brian tried and tried to get Dory to do, but he couldn't. And that victory today of getting Dory's head to go under was not supposed to be yours.
Berry, seen here pregnant with her first child, is philosophical about the choices she makes between both serious and popcorn movie roles. There's art and there's commerce, she says. The big movies take you around the world and make you globally famous, but it's the little movies, like Things We Lost in the Fire, that you do for the love of the art. Berry teams well with Danish director Susanne Bier, who specializes in tender dramas on human frailty.
Yeah, I think not only could the couple be, there's such a, before the tragedy happens, there's such a very normal, all-American kind of family. It's the American family of the 21st century, you know, the way they look and the tone and the way they feel. Yeah, it could happen to anyone. Your life could all of a sudden just take an odd turn and you're left to deal.
I'll go, but under one condition. When I come out, I'm gonna get a job, and I'm gonna pay you back down to the last penny, and you will take it.
It's a story of survival through the redemptive power of love.
Promise.
Life and surviving, you know, the ups and downs of life, mainly surviving the valleys. There's so much, the greatest life lessons are in the valleys of life. When you're struggling, that's when you have the greatest capacity to learn something about yourself and about other people. And I've had many opportunities to do that, and with that comes a confidence and a knowledge and a knowing of yourself that is pretty hard to deny, I think.
Except good, Jerry.
Do they glow in the dark?
They're fluorescent.
Halle Berry, one of the most beautiful women in Hollywood and one of the most accomplished. From her early days as a beauty queen winning Miss Teen All-America to Miss Ohio USA to the coveted Emmy and Golden Globe, then on to the pinnacle, picking up an Academy Award for Best Actress. Winning for her role as the wife of a man on death row in Monsters Ball, Halle Berry is the first woman of African American descent to have taken out the Best Actress. The ex-cheerleader and prom queen is loved for her easygoing nature and lack of pretension. With great humor, the actress accepted her Razzie Award as Worst Actress for her performance as Catwoman, saying, "To be at the top, you must experience the rock bottom." Despite her ongoing health issues relating to type 1 diabetes, the actress continues to glow and even topped the 2007 list as the world's most fabulous 40-something celebrity. Critics say Berry is brilliant in Things We Lost in the Fire, acting with heartbreaking efficiency in a nakedly honest, often gut-wrenching look at the emptiness of grief and the slow process of recovery. As her final role before her hiatus into motherhood, Berry wanted to make an impression, and she has. Her performance is drawing comparisons to the emotional rawness of her Monsters Ball character. She says she responds well to tortured characters, to the underdog, the one always fighting to overcome an obstacle. Director Suzanne Bier tells Cinema Nouveau that her communication with actors is the most essential part of the storytelling and describes Berry as incredibly dedicated, very creative, courageous, and very concerned that it all be honest. What particularly struck Bier about the actress was her complete lack of vanity. She informed the Oscar winner on the first day, "You're not going to wear any makeup." The actress agreed. And she is incredibly beautiful, says Bier. Even at 4 o'clock in the morning, she's incredibly beautiful. Halle Berry told Cinema Nouveau that becoming a mother will change the role she chooses and is sure to make her a richer, deeper human being.
See how he's spinning around like that? Brian used to do the same thing in basketball games, soccer games, any game.
I know. I miss the silliness.
Things We Lost in the Fire, an unvarnished study of grief.
I don't know if I'm ever gonna feel happy.
Enjoy your viewing until next time on Cinema Nouveau.